Hey everybody, this is Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff, and while I was at Mobile World Congress, I had a chance to play with the Nokia N1 tablet, and I really liked it. So now I have it right here, and I want to have a chance to take a look at it, give you my first impressions. Now this device was officially released for China, and Nokia says they're going to be releasing it to a couple of other European countries. So this is not something that it's easy to get at this moment, and I don't know if it's going to be released in the United States. But if you want to get your hands on one of these, go to 28mobile.com. I have to thank them so much for sending this unit out for me to look at. They have a 28-day money-back guarantee. And they sell a lot of devices like these, some devices that are harder to get on the market. So check them out, 28mobile.com, and let's go ahead and take a look at this. So first and foremost with this tablet, I want to say that there is no Google Play Store or Google Play services on it at this current moment. This is the Chinese release, but fortunately there will be an international version sometime soon, which will be released in Europe. And if you have the Google Play Store in your country, you should also have Google Play Store released on this tablet as well. That is something that Nokia made sure to mention. So as soon as the international model is released, I'm sure I will be figuring out how to get the Google Play Store on this, or at least root it so I can put the Google Play Store on it. But for right now, I just have the Amazon store, and that has been more than enough. And just as a heads up for right now, if you decide to sideload the Google Play Store or Google Play services, it still doesn't work. So now taking a look around this tablet, this is a Foxconn built tablet. It's Nokia designed. And what a lot of people poke at is that it looks quite like an iPad mini, and I have to agree myself that yeah, it kind of does. It is more rounded here on the sides. But I really don't mind that it looks like an iPad mini. It's a very nice design here. It's very solid in the hand, very well built. It's sandblasted on the back, so it has this nice satiny texture, and I like that. This is an Android tablet that I think that I will really like to carry around once I have the Google Play Store on it. How many times am I going to say Google Play Store? Now, of course, with any of these matte backings, after I get my fingerprints all smudged all over it, I can start to see them, and it kind of starts looking a little bit grimy on the back, but I'm easily able to clean it. Not too big of a problem. So starting off with the bottom here, we have a USB-C port. And this is nice because this is where we are moving towards in the future. And also it's reversible, so I can take the plug and put it in either way. But right now this is kind of just a mild annoyance to me because I have tons of micro USB cords sitting around the house. I can plug in anywhere I'd like to. But I've only got one USB Type-C, so I have to kind of cart that cable around. I hope to see this become a standard sometime in the near future so I don't have to worry about losing my USB-C cord. Also on the bottom we've got two speakers. Now erroneously on Nokia's website they say that these are stereo speakers. Unfortunately they're not. I would call these dual mono speakers. So if you're listening to something that is stereo, you're not going to get a left and right channel. It's going to down mix both of those channels and it's going to sound the same on either side.
Left channel, right channel, right channel, right channel, left channel, left channel, left channel, right channel, right channel, right channel, left channel, left channel, left channel, right channel, right channel, right channel, left channel, left channel.
So oh well, this is not the first time that I'm seeing this mistake. Now before I forget to mention it, this unibody design comes in a natural aluminum, which I believe this is, and also a lava gray. So you should have those choices upon release. On the front here we have Gorilla Glass 3. This is a 7.9-inch display. There is a 5-megapixel camera on the front. Then on the back side we have an 8-megapixel camera. It's autofocus, but it does not have a flash. Then on the top we've got the power button, a microphone, and our standard headphone jack. On the right-hand side, we've got two volume rocker buttons, very nice and solidly clicky. On the left-hand side, there is nothing. This just feels so nice in the hand. It's like a treat to hold and to hang on to. Now, this being a very vanilla lollipop tablet here, a lot of people, including myself, I'm sure, wish that this is what the HTC Nexus 9 would have looked like. I would have much rather had the build of this than what we have with the HTC Nexus 9. So this is indeed lollipop, but we don't have the Google launcher on this right now. This is the Z Launcher. This is Nokia's own invention, and I quite like it because it does learn all about you and your usage. So the more that you use this, the smarter it gets. So whether you pick up your tablet during morning, evening, or nighttime, if during the morning it knows that you check your emails, it's going to put those apps right at the front where you can get them. If during the evening, for example, you watch Netflix, Netflix is going to show up in top priority. And if you can't find a particular application, let's just scribble G for Granny Smith. You can see that it finds it there for me. So I find this to work very well. I like this. It's really simple. Their slogan is less tapping, more apping. I really like that. So this really rings true. And if you want to see all of your applications, you can just go to the left. And you can see you have everything here in alphabetical order. So I think even if I do have the Google Launcher, I'm going to be keeping this for a while because I like this. It's really simple. It's really clean. If I want to get out of the Z Launcher right now, I simply can go underneath App Info for Z Launcher and I can clear the defaults. And it gives me access to Launcher here. And you can see that it looks kind of like a jelly bean. What is this? It's a quite outdated looking launcher. But if you want to have access to widgets and all of that stuff for now, before we have Google Play on here, this is what you've got. So again, we don't have the Google Launcher, but this is Lollipop through and through, and you can see that we've got everything that's included with Lollipop. You've got the ability to hit the volume rockers and have access to your priority mode. Of course, we've got our cards, which I think the interface is actually quite smooth. When I played with it at MWC, I think it stuttered a little bit more than this. I have gotten quite a few updates since then. So I'm happy with the performance of what I'm seeing going about the interface. We've also got our ability to create profiles. So I've got myself, I can add a guest, I can add another user if they want to download their own applications and use them on the tablet. So all of that is here. It is indeed very vanilla. With this tablet, we also have the ability to double tap, although there's a little bit of a latency turning it on. And we've got access to normal lock screen notifications for Lollipop. You're able to hold down and you can go and get more information about that application. You can double tap it to be brought into the application. You can swipe it to dismiss it. Well, not in this case. It's a nagging issue that I'm having right now with Skype. But you get the point. You have the ability to change your profile right from the lock screen, which is an option that you can turn off or on underneath settings. And we have access to the camera as well. So talking about performance, as I mentioned just a moment ago, the interface is nice and smooth, at least as far as I can tell. It's been a breeze to use this tablet, and I've really liked the experience thus far. So in terms of performance specifications wise, this is an Intel 64-bit Atom SoC Z3580. It's got 4 CPU cores clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. It's got a PowerVR G6430 GPU. This is the same GPU that was inside of the iPhone 5S, inside of the iPad Mini 3, and inside of the iPad Air, the original iPad Air. So it's a last generation GPU, but it's still a good one. We've got 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and we've also got 2 gigabytes of RAM. So in general, when playing around with this device, I did tons of benchmarks, and after that plethora of benchmarks, I noticed that the performance ends up being somewhere around a Snapdragon 801 device. So I have been quite pleased by the performance that this device gets, considering that it's going to be costing $249. That's not bad. So we've got pretty much a top-end CPU on this thing, and not bad of a GPU. There's really not much to complain about with performance, at least with what I have seen so far. So talking a little bit about this display, it's 7.9 inches, a 4:3 aspect, 2048 by 1536. It's an IPS display. I think it's got pretty decent viewing angles. And then we've got the glass here, this Gorilla Glass 3, which has been laminated to the digitizer, and the LCD display and everything is really nice and close in proximity. That's something that's so common that we're seeing these days. But I would have thought for a $249 type of Chinese tablet that you'd probably get an air gap in between, and then you end up losing brightness. So this is a very modernized tablet. The major complaint that I have about this display so far is that it has really aggressive content adaptive brightness. So this Granny Smith game is usually a pretty good one to represent what I'm talking about, because where you have brighter scenes, you see the display gets brighter. And then if you start going into darker areas, you start to see that the display gets dim, and then if you go into brighter areas, it gets brighter suddenly, then it gets dim suddenly. So it's pretty aggressive and very noticeable, and it does this for all content. It's not something that you can disable. So when I did some measurements, I wasn't able to get accurate gamma measurements because of this crazy content adaptive brightness. You can see it gets really bright there, and then suddenly the brightness drops off. So it can get kind of annoying. Now in terms of brightness, I measured it just at 100%. I didn't turn on any automatic brightness settings. And it gets to be a little bit over 400 nits. It's got a contrast ratio of about 1,000 to 1. What I notice most is that the whites on my particular display, I've seen a couple of these units and they seem to have some variations. The whites on mine are quite greenish, so the white point is really quite green. It's got a lot of green and not enough blue or red, so white looks greenish. It really does. I'm happy to see at least that my color temperature isn't bluish. It's actually around 6,500 Kelvin, but it's not D65. The whites are not D65 because the white point is not accurate. We've got too much green here. So some tablets I've seen look a little bit more greenish, some look a little bit more bluish, but I'm happy to have a display where the whites don't look overly cool. Although to me, I think that greens kind of look a little bit grungy. So it seems it might be a bit of a lottery as to what type of display you end up getting. Their website is not very touch-friendly. Now, despite white being quite green, colors don't look too bad to me. I've noticed that the gamut is not fully sRGB. It reaches kind of close to it. On mine, it looks like it's a little over 80%. I noticed that they're not doing crazy things with the colors, although if there's something going on with the content adaptive brightness, you get colors that look really washed out, and then suddenly they look more dim. It's kind of a hot mess because of this content adaptive brightness, but the actual performance is not bad. So now moving on to talking about battery, we have a 5,300 milliamp hour battery inside of this. It's a decent size. I really haven't had a chance to get a handle on the battery life yet, but I've been going for a few hours now. I've got 3 hours and 12 minutes of screen time already. So I'm betting I'll probably hit about 5.5 hours of on-screen time. That's just predicting with what I'm looking at right now. But I will have to see what happens once I get Google Play services on this thing. It could go either way. I'm not sure if it'll get better or worse, who knows. There was one last thing that I wanted to say about these speakers. I did mention that they are dual mono speakers and not stereo speakers, but I wish that they got a little bit louder. I think that they're quite nice sounding speakers. But I noticed when watching Netflix, I'm watching Lost again because I am a fan of Lost, and I always feel the need, like I need to turn up the volume. And of course, it's futile to keep hitting that up volume rocker, but I keep doing it in expectation that I'm going to get a little bit higher volume. So the volume is okay, but it's not as loud as I would like it to be. But these do seem to be good quality speakers. Just don't be expecting stereo sound. With speakers so close like this, you're not going to get much of a stereo resolution anyway, so it's not a huge bummer. It's just I want them to fix on their websites so that at least they look like they know what they're talking about with their own product. So this is all I want to say for now. I need to have a chance to play around with this a lot more. I will be excited to recheck this device once I can get Google Play on this, because I feel like this is the Android tablet that I want to carry around personally because it's got a nice heft to it. It feels very, very solid in the hand. Good high quality. It's got a pretty powerful CPU inside of this thing and not a bad GPU, so performance is pretty good. For web browsing at least, it definitely suffices. So thank you everybody for watching. This has been Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this tablet so far. This has just been my first impressions of this. I really like this. What I don't like overall is that content adaptive brightness. When watching Netflix, it's not as noticeable as in games, fast-moving games, where the ambient lighting conditions change within those environments in that game. Still a nice tablet, $249. Really, can you beat that? You would think that you would get a lot lower specs with that, so I really can't complain. So let me know what you think. Again, this has been Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Check out 28mobile.com if you want to purchase this tablet early before it's internationally released. Realize that you don't have the Google Play Store right now, and sideloading it doesn't have any effect. You can't root it just yet, but that doesn't take away from the value. So have a good night.